I just want to start off, obviously, sad news this morning about Guy Lafleur. Just wanted to get your thoughts on passing of a legend today.
Of Guy?
Yeah, of Guy.
I mean, someone who played obviously before my time, but someone who my dad talked about all the time as just an incredible player. Never got to meet him, but just had a huge impact, obviously, on the game and part of such a storied franchise with all the cups and whatnot. So obviously sad and including Bossy as well. So sad week, I guess, in the hockey world.
I know it impacts all of us as fans, especially the ones that were fortunate enough to see him play and catch kind of the tail end of his career. Others obviously saw most of it, but how does it impact players when you hear about guys like that passing away, like legends of the game, like Bossy, like Lafleur? How does it impact you as an NHL player?
I mean, just, I guess, not just as a player, just as a person, life's short, right? I think that those memories that he created for fans, I think, last forever, though. I think that he'll be remembered for all the things that he did, right? So I think from that perspective as a player, you want to try and leave your mark on the game, and I think a guy like that and legends like Guy, they did that, and they'll always be remembered for those things. So it's sad, of course, when that happens, but I think that you tend to lean to think about the positives and the impact that they've had on the game.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, what is...
Aaron.
Hey. What does Colorado bring out in your team? Like, what do you have to make sure you bring tonight, or this team can make it tough?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it seems, you never know in the playoffs, but it seems like the road to the Cup is going to run through Colorado. So I think for us, the two games that we've played them have been really, really competitive games. And I think, they're, from a points perspective, the top team in the league, right? They got elite players, they play the right way, they play hard, and they're always a good test. So for us, we've played them, it's actually a good time in the season that we play them. We played all three of our games towards the end of the season when you're trying to ramp up and trying to get ready for the playoffs. So to play a team like that with, I think we have 6 games left, or 5 games left, even 5 games, is going to be, great for us.
They have one of the most dynamic skating and moving defensemen in the game. How aware do you need to be when he's on the ice, and how much does that factor into that need to be aware about going back towards your own end just as hard, especially when he's there?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a typical defenseman. Obviously, he's in the rush. He's jumping up on set plays, on face-off plays. I think from the coaching staff's perspective, I think they do a really good job in highlighting kind of and showing examples of things that he can do. And then as players, you just have to recognize when those key players are on the ice, and Nate's no different from a forward perspective. But when you're on the ice with those guys, and you have to be extra aware of things that they may do that aren't probably typical for their position.
There's this 8 or 9 guys on this team who are at career highs or just on a point or two away from career highs, including yourself. What's at the root of that? Do you guys just feel this vibe, or is it just a rising tide lifts all boats?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I think COVID years probably playing that too. We got a young team, so guys are being able to maximize the full season. But I think it's great for everybody. Feels good when you hit new milestones and you hit career highs. And like I said, we have a young team, and you have players who are striving to maximize their own abilities, right? And I think in turn that helps the team win, and they feel good about their game, right? So I think of late, the season's obviously gone. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, and I think that we've started to really find our groove and started to play well. And in order to do that, you have to have players playing well, and we have that, and it's good for guys who are hitting those milestones. And you put it in your backpack, you move forward, and you just get ready for the next game.
Do you subscribe to the theory that the way you're going now on these sort of state you'll have against Colorado or Vegas or Nashville, whoever you were playing, does that stuff carry over into the playoffs? Like, does it mean more when a team's hot going in, or
No, I don't. It's a tough question. I mean, I think the playoffs are a different animal altogether, but I think it's better to be playing well going in the playoffs than the flip side, and it's better to be confident and finding your game at the right time. I mean, I think the best example is probably St. Louis a couple years ago when they won, finding their game at the right time and going to the playoffs hot. But again, the playoffs, it's different just because it's a different game. You're playing against one team. There's different matchups to go into it, but you want to be playing at your best for sure. You want to be feeling good about your game, feeling good about your team going into it. And I think right now we're really happy with where we are, and we've still got some time here to continue to build.
Hi, Zach. You mentioned how this season, in your mind, has been a bit of a roller coaster. I wonder, with the opportunity to clinch tonight, have you guys looked back at all to, December and January when things weren't going as well, and kind of being able to kind of appreciate what you've been able to do to get out of that?
Yeah, honestly, there's not much time to reflect in this schedule. We had a little break the first time in a while that we had like 3 days in between games before our last one, so that was nice. But until you get that X up on your name, there's no reflecting. So tonight will be a good test for us, it would be awesome to clinch. But again, game by game, and let's keep moving forward.
Can you pinpoint one or two things that have really changed in the last 2-3 months that have gotten you guys to being one of the better teams in the NHL versus where you guys were a few months ago?
Sure. I mean, I think, as a group, you go through ups and downs in a season. Obviously, there's a coaching change that happened and a new voice that came into the locker room. And I think that Woody and Mance and the rest of the staff have, done a really good job in coming in and implementing what they think needed to change. And I think that you saw a really good buy-in from the players. And I think even with the coaching change, we were playing really well, and then we went through a little lull, and then now we're back to playing really well. So I think just the team's bought in. I think their team's confident. I think that we're getting contributions from all areas of the team. It's not just a one-line or two-line team. You're seeing guys from who play 10 minutes a night, who play 20 minutes a night. Everybody's contributing in their own way, and I think that's what makes a really successful team. And then obviously, I think our goaltending has been rock solid. Mikko and Smitty, so they're both two guys we can rely on, and a bunch of factors, but it's all rounding out really well, and we're excited about where we are and where we're going.
A lot of guys have talked about the details in your game. Do you guys feel like the details are where they need to be heading into the playoffs, and there's some good structural changes that have been made?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, I think just from an even strength perspective, not allowing as many goals, I think is really important. I think, I think it's hard to score in this league if you're very detailed. It's a tough league to score, and so at this time of the year, everybody kind of clamps down. All the playoff teams are gearing up, and there's not much room out there, and it takes another step in the playoffs. And then, that includes us. Obviously, we want to, be hard to play against, be hard to score against, defend our paint. And then I think our PK has seen significant improvement over the last month or so.